the good news is most of the inflation was due to price shocks. And there are reasons to think that it's not going to get worse. And there are reasons to think it's going to get better. I think there's some question about food, which doesn't seem to be coming down the way it should. And so there we have to look. But in general, so these big shocks and therefore the high inflation is a thing of the past until next time. But for the moment, it's a thing of the past. So that's good news. It means that basically the underlying inflation is much lower than, in the US, the 7, 8, and then in the UK, more than 10. So that's the good news. The bad news is, well, now we're left with the rest, which is the labor market, the overheating, which is more relevant, I think, for the US than for Europe, UK being in between, maybe. And there, it's too high. Basically, the wage inflation we have, which reflects current overheating, and the slight de-anchoring of expectations, they have moved a bit up, means that we have to, if we want to go back to target, and you may know that I'm not in favor of returning to 2, but that's not my decision. If the Fed wants to go back to 2, then it really has to put the brakes. And the problem is the Phillips curve is flat, which was great news on the way up, but is very bad news on the way down. And so this means we have to go to high unemployment for a while. And people don't want to hear this, but I'm afraid that's where we are. So the good news is we got rid of most of it, and it's likely to stay. But the bad news is going from, in the US, 4 to 2 may require a serious slowdown. Whether it leads to a recession, if it's done slowly enough, maybe not. My guess is yes, there'll be something like a recession. But something has to happen in the labor market, and we're not there yet.